Okay, for the final part of this project of the day, I planted this plant that I got from the Christmas party at work about a week ago. And I put it in the ground here in the middle of the yard. Kind of an odd place to put a bush, so I probably could have put it over there, but I said I want to give it a try over here. And dug a hole last night. I gotta rake up all this garbage now. It's excess grass that I have all over the place. So that's the plant that I planted last night, and that'll be in the middle of the yard, in the front yard, right here. As you can see, I cut that grass yesterday after I got home from work. And so there's the plant in the middle of the yard. Okay, so today's project has been working on the plantation. I got this trellis yesterday from the neighbor. Had it in the swale, so I took it. And so dug up some of the plantation rows. Put more tomatoes. I pulled out the green bean plants. Remember the green plants that were there? I took them all out because they were over here in the trash. I'm gonna trash them later. And the tomatoes, as you can see, are looking really good. Really good tomatoes here. I'm gonna try having a salad today. There's some really good tomatoes, rightly ripe, delicious looking tomatoes. Ready for a picking. Tomatoes? And so what I said, I dug up the rows here, and I'm gonna make more tomatoes. More tomato seeds. I got these tomato seeds at Home Depot yesterday, so I'm gonna plant them in some of the rows if I may have some extra. Got these pots here, and as you can see, I have these mature tomato plants. Then I got the tomato plants I just planted a couple weeks ago, and I got the little ones in the pots I planted about a week ago. And so I got these new pots I just filled. So they were actually part of the green bean plants. So I pulled out the old green bean plants and used them for tomato seeds. I also built this new row as well. So I'm gonna get to work on the project for today and get to work. And I also cut the grass today. Backyard grass. I cut the front yard grass yesterday. And for some reason it's getting all cloudy up here. There goes this gypsy under the tree. For some reason I got a line. Fix that. Figured out what was causing that line is I had the kickstand up. So anyway, cut the backyard grass today. And maybe wondering why I got these chairs out here. Well, because they get wet because of the moisture. And so I leave them out in the sun to dry out. Because every time you sit on them, you get a wet butt. And it's just turned sunny. As daybreak has come. I woke up about 4 o'clock this morning to get started on today's project. And there's the mango plant. Mango trees. So we're gonna get some mangoes this year. Okay, so back to work on the project. Okay, so I put the trellis up, and the idea, of course, is that when the tomatoes get big, I'll be able to wrap the vines around this pole, this branches, whatever you want to call them, and thus, therefore, the tomatoes will stay off the ground. Because as tomatoes grow, the vines grow all over the place. So I planted the seeds into the pots and in the row, and while I was doing that, I actually bumped into that pot there, and I may have actually kicked the seed out. So I had to quickly try to hopefully put it back up and get the seed back into the pot, but I don't know if it went in there or not. So when you use up all the seeds, I use up on this row here, on that row. I put about maybe 6 seeds on this row here, so we get some good plants. And then I also put seeds into the pots, each one of the pots. And I put a couple seeds on this row as well. I didn't really have that many left over. It really wasn't that very many seeds. Tomato seeds are so tiny, and they almost look really transparent. But that's what I did. And so let's do some tomato picking, shall we? So let's pick some tomatoes that look really good. Some small tomato, and this one, and this one. Oh, I see that. Oh, I guess it's all right, I guess. And let's do some more tomato picking from the plantation. Picking tomatoes from the plantation. Oh, there's a little green still. Here's a good one over here. You can pick. And here's this big one over here. Pick this one. Look how big that size it is. It's a really odd shape, but it tastes good. It's a tomato, right? And that one over there looks like it can be probably picked maybe tomorrow, but I don't want to pick too many of them because I have a lot of tomatoes. Okay, and also watered the plantation. Probably reinforce the rows. So let's hope for these new seeds to grow. We get more tomatoes from the plantation. Okay, for the final part of this project of the day, I planted this plant that I got from the Christmas party at work. It's about a week ago. I put it in the ground here in the middle of the yard. Kind of an odd place to put a bush, so I probably could have put it over there, but I said I want to give it a try over here. And dug a hole last night. I gotta rake up all this garbage now. It's excess grass that I have all over the place. So that's the plant that I planted last night, and that'll be in the middle of the yard, in the front yard, right here. As you can see, I cut that grass yesterday after I got home from work. And so there's the plant in the middle of the yard.